Okay, so welcome back. One thing, again, I'm going to flip-flop around, and I remembered finally what I did last time, as I called it character instead of just char, because I like all these to be short, except for the base classes. So that makes me feel a little better. So let's put together a more interesting test, and you know what else I'm going to do, is I'm going to include some other helper methods down here. It's going to look like this. So public void write info, and we'll just take a string, whatever, message, and we'll say console foreground color equals console color dot cyan, right? And then let's see. Console dot reset color. Yeah, just trying to remember the name of that command. Sorry. And then what we'll do is we'll just say right line message. Okay. So we'll take that and we will duplicate it and say write error. And what are you complaining about? Oop, sorry, public static. And this will be dot red. And I guess I can't refactor that automatically. That's fine. So the reason I want this is because it's starting to become difficult to tell the difference here. So write info. This is a write info here. Write info here. Write info here. And I'm going to add a little piece of validation right here that says if context.offset is not 0 identically, then something weird happened, right? And I want to write an error that says context offset incorrectly reset. Right? That would be a problem. If context.stack.count is not equal to 0, then we can write an error that says context stack not cleared. Something like that, right? So these should just work nicely, and it sort of helps visually separate our test runs, and I think that's really helpful. Okay, so now that I've wasted 3 minutes doing that, let's move on to doing something else. All right, so I guess the first thing we could do here would be to region, whatever, helper methods. Just want to hide this stuff away. So let's try a couple other cases. One of the things I want to try is, for example, 0 to 4. That should be certainly fine. And notice I don't have like any real validation in there that says that they passed, you know, something that's non-negative and none of that stuff. This is more just instructive to try and do it as an exercise. Something else I could try would be match 3 or more greedily. I should match all 5, and then 4, and then 3, and then nothing all the way back. What if I try to match 6? I should go straight to failure. Okay, match failed. And gosh, I guess that's pretty much all I can do with that. So I'll put it back as 2 to 4, I guess. And we'll be good to go. All right. So I'm pretty content with that. We can do some interesting things like compose them. So let's try that real quick. Let's do public static void match alternate greedy test1. And this will be context equals new context. And again, we'll just use a string of A's, which I do eventually get bored of, but that's all right. Char A equals new character A. So far so good. Var alt equals, oh, I guess we need something more interesting. So let's do this. Var list of 2 A's equals new list of a new iMatch array which contains char A twice, like that. Then we'll have an alternate, which is a new equals new alternate, and it will have, sorry, a new iMatch array containing char A and list of 2A, like that. And then we'll have var token, which will be the final guy that I'm going to test, is going to equal greedy matching of that thing, well, sorry, the list, I'm sorry, the alternation, and I'm losing it here, and lost my cursor. Let's say twice or 3 times. How about that? So what did I just build? Let's see, I've got a greedy match of A or AA 2 to 3 times. Alright, exec test the token on this context. So let's just think through quickly what we're expecting to happen. Is this a good test? So it's going to be greedy. So it's going to go, and this is what's interesting about this, is allowing a single token to be matched in different ways greedily by repeating it and backtracking into it. So first time is going to match, in fact I'll flip these around up here because that'll be a little more interesting. Well, it'll just be something different. Okay, so this is what we're going to run. The first time through I need to match at least 2, and I will match that one, and then I'll match that one again, and that's my 2 times, and I'm done. Okay, then can I match a 3rd time optionally? No, nothing to do, so but that's fine. I will have a 0 at the end of the stack. When I backtrack, it's going to backtrack in here and say, do you have any other optional ones to give up? I'm going to say no. It's going to backtrack into the base list and say, well, hey, second repetition of your token, do you have an option? And it's going to say, well, actually, technically what's going to do is it's going to look at the list, and then that's going to ultimately fail and say no, but I have an alternation, so I have a second guy. In this case, it's actually going to match, right? That's going to match again on this character, and then it'll say good to go, and it's going to return success, and then we're going to match greedily from that point forward. Because now we've matched twice, that's the base level. Can you match this token again? And it turns out the answer is yes, but only with this second option, and I will have picked up my 1 optional match from the greed, and I expect there to be 1 at the end. So let's see what this looks like. It doesn't look like anything because I'm not running it. Really need to change that. That's right. You just say our stack does not look right. Okay. Whoa, a lot of cases. Well, that doesn't look good. Alright, I guess we'll just start here. No, can't do that either. Oh no, you can see my cheat sheet. Oh, my secrets are gone. Okay, where's my console window? Alright, let's just get back to it. So at the top here, notice our stack is much more interesting now. So 0, 0, 0 means that I matched the first entry, and then I matched the first entry, and then the greedy thing said there were no optional matches, and that's where we're at. I backtrack, like we were talking about, it backtracks into here. There were no optional matches, that gets popped off. And then we look at this alternation and we say, do you have an alternative? It goes, into its options, which end up all failing because there's characters. But as an alternate, that actually does have another option. So then it picks up the first one, right? I'm sorry, first index 1. So that is this option on the second iteration. So then it matches that guy, and then it succeeds, and we pop back out, and then because it's greedy, up to 3 times it says, do you have any alternatives, or can I match you again? Turns out I can, but only on index 1, not on index 0. And so that's that one, and then I'm done. I'm both out of tokens, and I'm off the end, and so this last number 1 here is from the stack in the context, or I'm sorry, it's from the number of optional matches of the context, which in this case is 1, right? So that obviously is not the first choice, but that would be the next way that this pattern would match this sequence. And so you can actually follow this down and look at the stack, and you should be able to infer exactly what was happening. And probably the most interesting last one is this guy here. So this is saying that we backtracked far enough that we matched alternation on index 1, right? So the single A and then the single A as 2 different tokens, and we have no more optional iterations of that token. And after that, it must completely unroll, the whole stack disappears, and the index gets restored, right? So that's that. That appears to be working correctly. So this video is more about apparently me just screwing around than anything actually productive, but in the next video, I think we'll do lazy matches, because they're sort of paralleling the greedy matches. And in fact, the cool thing about lazy matches is that they explore the same exact space, it's just in a different order. So we'll get the same list of matches, but we'll get them in reversed order, kind of reversed order, because it does the least amount of work possible. All right, till next time.